Okay, we're joined by head coach Avery Johnson. We'll have coach make an opening statement, and we'll go ahead and open it up to some questions. Go.
First, I want to just say what a hard-fought second half that Vanderbilt exhibited tonight on both ends of the floor. We had a substantial lead on them, and they didn't quit. So give Coach Drew credit. Semi Shatu, man, this guy's he's a monster on both ends of the floor. Boy, he was tough to guard in the second half, and that's why he had a double-double and 4 assists. And man, he's relentless. So give them credit. It's a tough spot when you haven't won an SEC game. But in their last 5 games, it could have gone either way, even our game up in Vanderbilt. So give those guys credit. They haven't quit. They played with amazing energy in the second half. But our guys, this was a tough spot to be in. We dropped a couple of games, and everybody knew what the deal was in terms of Vanderbilt's record. So I don't know if any team had as much pressure on them to win today as us, as Alabama Crimson Tide in the conference under the circumstances. And our guys responded. We got off to a great start. We had an unbelievable first half. The ball was moving. Tevin Mack ignited our offense with some threes. Kyra kept us in there. Riley made some timely shots. 2 guys, Dejon and Dante Hall, had double-doubles. Dejon was 4 assists away from a triple-double. We had 10 turnovers, which is, for our team, we're trying to get that to 6 or 7 turnovers, but that was a step in the right direction. Our last 10 minutes of our last 2 games haven't been good. We'll address that. But we had 2 really good days of practice. Our guys came out focused, ton of energy. Look at the crowd we had tonight. For a team that's dropped a couple in a row, that's why I just asked people to hang in there with us, and our fans hung in there with us, and especially when the weather was bad. So awfully happy to have this win. Was it perfect? No, but I'm proud of our guys overall.
Thank you, coach. Just start with Cecil in the back right here.
Coach, you only played 8 guys in this game. Was that your decision? Was the entire bench available? Everybody that didn't play could have played, and how did you think that affected the game? How did y'all handle it?
Yeah, I thought we handled it okay. We extended some guys. We've seen sometime in certain situations, we'll have some momentum with a certain lineup on the court, and we'll sub 1 or 2 guys in, and then our team just takes a 180-degree turn and go in a different direction. So we just thought when we got a lead, let's keep those guys in there. They had a pretty good rhythm, even if it meant extending some guys past their normal minutes.
Start in the middle here, Michael.
Was that the plan the whole time to go with the 8-man rotation, or it was just kind of the way the game played out?
Kind of played out that way.
Okay. And in the second half, when they started making that run move, what did you see going wrong with you guys?
We didn't guard penetration as well. They beat us off the dribble. And that, again, guys, even though they haven't won, they have some talented players. Now, had we lost the game, we wouldn't have been able to make that statement. People would think that we're using it as an excuse. But these guys are talented. Saban Lee's an outstanding player, didn't have his best night. Neesmith can shoot the 3. Like I said, Semi Shatu is a guy that's been showing up on some draft boards. He's showing up on draft boards for a reason. But I just saw a ton of energy from our guys. And they got the crowd into the game. And fortunately, we were able to win the game and still have some areas that we can continue to improve and clean up, which is, I think, the last 10 minutes of the game.
Far left, Alex.
You mentioned Tevin Mack's 2 threes, back-to-back possessions. You had a couple guys, Riley and Kyra, in that first half, that especially that second one in a row was a transition 3, just a quick shot. They got into a rhythm. How key was that to kind of get into that game, that part of your offense?
Well, that was great to get in the rhythm and make those threes. Now, the next level for us is when we make those threes, and now teams close out and close what we call close the window, shot faking and getting inside the defense. We got to take that next level in terms of shot selection. We love our shooters, all of our shooters, to take and make threes with confidence. But that next level of when they really rush us off the line and we're off balance, getting inside the defense and maybe drawing the defense where we can get more of a rhythm, wide open 3, that's the next step for us.
when you mentioned the energy, Dante Hall had a couple big blocks early on, and his offensive game got started that way. How big were some of those, especially from a defensive end?
It was huge. You know, we just said, look, man, we need some fighters out there today. We just need you to fight. And if you can fight for 40 minutes, you'll just play 40 minutes. There, the stretch there in the second half where Dante was just exhausted. And, you know, we had to get him out for a minute. And we'll evaluate that and see if we can get him out, you know, maybe at the 13:20 mark or 13:40 mark, give him a little bit of a blow. But we just was trying to go with the 5 guys that we thought gave us the best chance to win.
Let's go in the middle, Tony.
You scored 24 points off 17 turnovers. Just how do you capitalize on that and keep it going? Something you struggle with?
That's rare for us, Tony. You know, but again, 10 steals, we converted it. We left a couple of points on the board when we got careless on the break. But normally that's the reverse. Other teams are scoring 24 points off of our turnovers. So I think defensively we were much more locked in. And again, on our last road trip at A&M, they scored 65 points. We're supposed to win games when teams score 65 points. We just didn't have enough offense, but fortunately we had a little bit more offense today.
We have time for a few more. Start with Cecil on the back right.
Coach John Petty didn't score in this game, but he played 30 minutes and seemed to be pretty active despite not scoring. What do you feel about his performance?
His numbers have been extremely well in practice the last two practices when we measured with our catapult system. He's been working awfully hard. And what we've asked John is, if your 3 is not going, what else can you do to help the team? Last year, you probably would have gotten 1 rebound. He got 6 rebounds, and his defense was outstanding. So that shows the growth and development of his game, and he'll knock some threes in the next, knock down some threes in the next game, and hopefully, you know, play more of a complete game on the offensive end and the defensive end.
Start
Coach,
with Drew.
question about a couple of guys. First of all, Dazon seemed to really have a lot of energy tonight. I think he moved and elevated about as well as I've seen him. Talk about his performance, and then Herbert Jones kind of closing it out and showing some confidence offensively.
Yeah, we'll start with Herb. Herb did show some confidence. Missed a couple of easy shots early in the game and turned it over. But, you know, when you have strong character like Herb Jones, he's going to come back and be relentless. And, boy, he had some huge defensive plays for us in the second half. And, you know, those 2 steals were important for us. And Dejon, we thought, going back to the last 2 days, he's been moving well in practice. His warm-up was good before the game. He just had that look in his eyes like he was ready to go. And he played on the ball, he played off the ball. And fortunately for us, you know, he made some really good decisions with the basketball. Only 1 turnover for him in 35 minutes.
And now this last 4-game stretch is so crucial. Talk about going to South Carolina and the challenge on the road.
Hard-nosed team. You know, Frank's team's always hard-nosed, tough, nasty, physical. We got to be ready to play. We got to be ready to get off to a good start. There's a certain way that we prepare for South Carolina. So the players are going to be shocked when they see this next practice, because if you can't get through this next practice, we're not going to be able to be successful against South Carolina, because they deny you. They're very physical. They're relentless. But again, I like the way we extended our defenses tonight. You saw us pick up full court, more than we ever have in a 3-game stretch today. So we're going to need to extend our defense and try to get into South Carolina's clock a little bit.
Last question, Alex.
Kind of to follow up on that a little bit, this stretch, the last 4, what can you do moving forward to develop some of the consistency that y'all just haven't been able to do this half the year?
Well, I know one thing, we're going to be fired up, because all 4 of the teams that we're playing, you know, they're pretty good teams. And you know, when we felt like we've been an underdog, boy, it's amazing how we respond and our attention to detail and focus. But I just thought our guys were emboldened tonight. You know, showed a lot of courage, confidence, and we're going to need to do that on the road. And again, when we played against teams that are, you know, at the top of the standings in the SEC, we responded at a high level. So it'll be a huge win for us if we can go on the road. Like I said, we have a lot of season left in front of us, and we got a couple of levels to go to, and once we get there, it's going to be a pretty picture.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.